but today is Friday's Eve, so it should be a good day. Okay, Alfonso, did you know now there's an outbreak of leprosy? And there's an outbreak of leprosy in Florida. Oh, they say there's some new EG something. And so I'm just like, really? Really? Thank you. Okay. And this is an adult, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, no problem. Thank you. All right, everyone. Happy Friday's Eve. At least that's what they tell me. Today is Friday's Eve, isn't it? Right, Deputy Laura? Yes. She was smiling at me. I'm like, am I wrong? Is the day Thursday? I don't know. All right, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, you need to let me know you're here. Otherwise, if you don't answer, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Then it won't be a happy Friday's Eve for you. Stephen Wall Barker. Thank you. Yvette Martinez. Yvette Martinez. And custody is Jan or Juan Torres Rivera. Jeffrey Adame. Thank you. Andrew Guerrero is in custody. Thank you. In custody, we have Matthew Stribling, Crystal Martinez, Monica Reynolds, Keandre Davis, Mark Ivy. I think Mark Ivy may have. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But maybe we want to relive yesterday. She's telling me the last page on the docket is yesterday's docket. Maybe we want to relive it. I don't know. In custody, we have Carrie Henderson, Cameron Lawrence, Cameron Jacob Lawrence, Alexander Castro, Arthur Lee Beecham, Shane Riley, Eric Diaz, Michaela Johnson. In custody, we have James Kennedy, Austin Anderson. You need to take off your hat. Christian Smith. All right. Jose Cavazos is in TDC. Kevin Luna, custody. Leslie Cox. Christopher Medina, that's going to be at 11. Adolf Lopez, 11. Eduardo Escalera and Sherry Cooper, 11. Jeffrey Kesey. Thank you. Francis Barnett, the 6th. Francis Barnett, the 6th. It's rare that you have a 6. Matthew Castro is in custody. Robin Hernandez. Delphina Spillers in custody. Terrence Truesdale. Mario Aguilar is in custody. Miguel Rangel, custody. Is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? Oh, that's weird. There's nobody whose name was not called. All right, these are the rules of the court. The boxes to my left, those are criminal trial division. To my right, that's family violence. There's been an uptick in many diseases in this world today. I just read that there's an outbreak of leprosy, and we also have a new version of COVID. So I try to keep the courtroom as least congested as possible. So attorneys, when you grab your file, if you will just place it on the prosecutor's table and have a seat, they're going to call you in the order of appearance. So for those who have the criminal trial division, just place your file at the criminal trial division. That's criminal trial. Family violence, could you raise your hand? That's family violence. These are the other rules that I give every day, but sometimes people don't remember, so I continue to give them. In the back, sitting in that chair or was sitting in that chair, that's the probation officer. Do not put your items on her desk. That is her office. Do not sit on her desk. That is her office. I've given her permission that if you put your items on her desk, she can accidentally push them on the ground. Also, if you put your stuff on her desk or sit on her desk, I'm going to make it my business to come to your office unannounced. Whether you have a client in the office with you or not, I'm going to come to your office. I'm going to sit on your desk and put stuff on your desk. So then we'll appreciate not to do it to her. Over here, the court reporter, that's her desk. Do not touch her desk. Do not hover around her desk. Do not put papers on her desk. The equipment that's on her desk and that she has on top of things, that equipment is $10,000. If you break it, you have bought it. It's like Pottery Barn. So do not rest on her desk. I know it's tempting to do it, but do not do it. I am working on trying to get another piece of furniture so attorneys will have some place to sit their things if they so choose. Do not approach the court unless you have conferred with your client and conferred with the state. If your client is in custody, yes, we need them brought out so they can know that you are here and what is happening with their case. Once you request it from the deputy for your client to be brought out, please do not leave the courtroom. Due to security reasons, they can only have so many inmates out here at one time. And if you requested your inmate and you leave, guess what? You're being selfish, because that means that one of your fellow attorneys cannot request an inmate. If an interpreter is needed, by interpreter meaning, I mean your client does not speak English and wants to speak in another language, whether you speak their language or not, an interpreter needs to be called. Once an interpreter is called, please do not leave the courtroom. Again, there are so few interpreters, they will be here in about 2 minutes, and then you can be on your way. The area that's between the deputy and that door, do not block that area because they need vision. They're in charge of security, and I have given them permission that if something happens and you're in the way, well, I will write an affidavit and tell them why maybe you were injured. So do not block that entranceway. And Travis, are you wearing your white shoes today?
Not today.
All right, because usually he's in white shoes and I tell people don't step on his shoes. All right, so it is Friday's Eve. It's going to be a great day. If we make it a great day, we're going to communicate with people with kindness. So go forth and please confer.
Such a good.
Thank you. I try, because here's the thing. We deal with cases every single day where people are not at their best. Why can't we be happy? Mhm. And Deputy Laura, since we are doing closing arguments on Friday, I figure we'll do closing arguments on Friday. And then after we do closing arguments, then I'll do my Q&A for anybody who wants to Zoom in and has questions about the court process. Yes. And then after that, we'll have our book club meeting. So I'm gonna have to figure out what the Zoom link is so I can give people the Zoom link. Oh, yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to be before your bench this morning on a hearing for a motion to withdraw on Miguel Ring out of Miguel Ring.
Awesome.
Miguel Ring.
Adriana, could I see the file on Sebastian Del La Cosa? And Deputy Laura, when you get a chance, could you bring out Sebastian De La Cosa? Is he on the docket today? Yeah. All right, let me give you the cause number. Can you see if he's set today? Oh, he's not? Okay. Could you pull that file and have it brought out, please? It's 223 CR 2667. Yes. 2023. All right, and can you take that back to Caroline as well?
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, sure. You're welcome. Yes, the orchids are looking beautiful.
Yeah, I missed yesterday. I was a nurse.
Oh, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I was just having a little bit of stuff. I wanted to get in ahead of time.
Oh, no, you've got to, they always ask me why I wait till the last minute. And I want to tell them so bad because I'm like my mom. But then my mom is always, why are my children waiting to the last minute to go to the doctor? I'm like, we get it from you, Mom.
And Your Honor, I don't watch the news. What's this new variant of COVID?
It's EG something. Thank you. And I forget, oh, Caroline, let me give it to you. It's a dismissal. All right, so Caroline, tomorrow, we're gonna have our book club.
I was gonna say, I heard you saying the Q&A. I'm like, oh, wait, what about our book club?
Oh, no, the Q and A first and then book club.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just have to create a Zoom link. Yeah, we'll make the announcement because I can't wait. My inmate book came in.
Oh, is it? Okay. I have started it because I don't want to get yelled at.
There is yelling in the book club if you start too soon. Deputy Laura, not this Zoom link, but do you have another Zoom link number? All right, let me see what we have. I think I'll have to get out of this one and figure it out. Oh, you know what? Let me schedule one right now. So I'm going to give you the number. Hopefully it will let me schedule it. Hmm. And I'm gonna set it tomorrow at 10:30 because I figure we should probably be finished with closing arguments. And let me see if it gives me to it. And if it does, then I'll be able to say what it is. Okay, let me get out of this. Meetings. Oh, okay. Here's the ID for tomorrow for the Q&A. It's 864-0133-6298. So it's 864-0133-6298. And that'll be tomorrow for our Q&A. Anybody has any questions? I'm going to try to get a magistrate judge in here. Well, she's not reading the book, but I'm going to try to get her in here for the Q&A because whenever I have class with my students, I try to start the process from the time somebody is involved in the criminal justice system. So, yeah.
Hi.
Who's here on Stephen Wellbucker?
Judge, we're ready.
Okay.
Jeffrey.
All right, Deputy Laura, is it me or is it hot in here? All right, let me send an email.
All right, they're just, they're gonna continue. Yeah. Unless the judge does no, then we'll.
And I'm sorry, Diana, what room did you say you were in? All right. Oh, and guess what I learned that I never looked at before? You know how I'm always straining with my glasses to see what you put down? I never paid attention before to the plus sign on the side where you can enlarge the print.
You know, you can also search for work on there.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Now, whether it's.
Want to come up and karaoke this thing.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
No. I'll just kind of update it from what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, counsel on Walbacher, is he in custody? All right, Rashawn, before we do this sentencing, I want a UA for Mr. Walbacher. Mr. Walbacher, where are you? All right, what's going to be the result of your UA? All right, so we're going to do a UA. And then I'll take up his, do you need any water?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Ross, there's a water fountain in the back, and I think we have cups down there. All right. So they'll give your, so they can give you, your client some water. He said he needs water.
I'm gonna grab a cup right now.
All right, thank you. Jeffrey Adame. Or Adames. All right, if you'll come forward. All right, I'm going to need everyone to please whisper. We are going to go on the record. And just one moment, let me pull up what Ms. Abrams has sent me. Here we are. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 0491. State of Texas versus Jeffrey A. Adames. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks from the state of Texas.
Defense?
Jay Moritz, Your Honor, from Mr. Adame.
And are you Mr. Adame?
Yes, ma'am.
Is your last name Adame or Adames?
Adamus.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Jeffrey A. Adames who was placed on community supervision for the offense of assault, family choking, strangulation, on February 23rd, 2022 for a term of 5 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State.
Violated condition number 28, on or about the first day of May 2023 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Jeffrey A. Adames, did then and there fail to comply with the rules, regulations, or instructions of the Lifetime Recovery Substance Abuse Treatment Facility, and that the defendant prematurely departed the program without permission in violation of condition number 28.
All right. And Bashan, he's going on 28.
Thank you.
To that, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
State.
And the state would waive and abandon the further allegations.
All right. Did you understand by pleading true to violation of 28, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 5 years in the prison and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of 28?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, any objections to the waivers of the other allegations in the motion?
No, Judge.
All right. Is there a recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
The recommendation and the agreement of the parties, should Your Honor choose to accept it, is to deny the motion and alter and amend the defendant's conditions for SATIF with aftercare, and have the defendant complete that drug treatment.
All right, is that the
Yes,
recommendation?
my understanding is that it was held in abeyance if he didn't comply, and that he is agreeable to it and wants that treatment, Judge.
All right, probation?
Yes, Your Honor. The recommendation would be for static with the aftercare, and if he does not want to do that, I recommend revocation.
All right, you'll raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Jeffrey Allen Adamus.
All right, why did you leave Lifetime Recovery?
My father was diagnosed with brain cancer. I had to help because I get disability retirement. So he was gonna lose his house. So I decided to, my two brothers weren't working. So I decided to leave so I can use my disability retirement to help him out with his, till he had the surgery. And then when he went to recovery in Universal City, he started the recovery. My brothers got a job, so I was able to leave. And I was working on trying to get some money so I could turn myself in, which I did in the 13th of last month.
Yeah, why don't you pick up the phone and call probation and say, my father has cancer and I need to help him?
I freaked out. I mean, I was just, I was just real distressed. I mean.
No, how old are you?
I'm 50 years old.
No, it's easy to pick up the phone and say, my father has cancer. I need to go help them. And then if probation would have said, no, you can't do that, then you know what would have ended up happening? I would have got an email from probation and they would have sent it to me and said, his father is ill. He would like to go be with his father. And then you know what I would have said? Have him come in and we would have discussed it. And maybe I would have let you take care of issues with your father. You are on probation. Probation is a contract. So even though your attorney, the state and probation is saying SATA, I could still say I'm sending you to prison for 5 years.
I understand.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So now what has happened? You're still in the same situation you are. Now you're starting all over. When Lifetime Recovery, you probably would have been finished with it by now. Now, instead, if I follow this agreement, you're going to be in custody and wait for transfer to SATA. All because you don't pick up the phone and call anybody. And Lifetime Recovery and all of these treatment programs are supposed to teach you how to deal with your problems. And dealing with your problems are not supposed to be, I'm not going to follow the rules. I'm going to throw my hands up. What if I had a problem and I said, in the middle of this, I have a problem and I just leave. I don't tell you guys anything. And everybody just sitting around here like, what happened to the judge? What's going on? If someone had called me right now with an emergency, if my mom or somebody would call and say, it's an emergency, we need you back home. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, everyone, excuse me for a moment. I'm going to get on the phone. I'm going to call the powers that be and say, I need a judge. I have to leave. I'm going to tell everybody here, everyone, I'm sorry. I need to leave. I need to get a flight. I need to work on that and go home. I'm not just going to leave. And then everybody's like, what do we do now? And in your case, when you just drop off the face of the earth, you know what the what do we do now is? File a motion to revoke. All right. How much longer did he have in lifetime recovery? Will lifetime recovery accept him back or no?
Your Honor, that would be something I have to research.
All right, so this is what I'll do. If you want, I will sentence you to prison for 2 years, or I will send you to SATA. And if lifetime recovery will accept you back, then it'll be lifetime recovery if they accept him back. If they won't, he'll go to SATA.
And if I may, at this point, I really don't think lifetime recovery would be the best option. I
Okay.
think we would need something a little more structured.
All right, so it will be SATA. So you can go to prison for 2 years, or either you can go to SATA. Which would you prefer?
Satisfying.
All right, I'll deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions.
Yeah.
To include SATA. Followed by aftercare. And I'm going to want the UA hotline upon release. And that's to be until further notice. Is there anything else you need from the court so that I won't see you back up here again with the motion to revoke? Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Counsel. Could I have my paperwork?
All right, who's here on Jose Cavazos? Good morning. All right, so last time we were here, we had the whole El Paso thing, and so supposedly things were going to be worked out with that. So where are we?
No farther along than when we started. It is so frustrating, Judge.
I know, what's going on?
Here's what's happened. There's a gentleman by the name of Mike Fresenia who got assigned as the investigator through the EP, Public Defender's Office.
Mhm.
I've been contacting him pretty regularly, and we've been trying to figure out a way to get that buccal swab done. No one will do it. I don't know how in the world they prosecute a sex crime in El Paso. And Lauren and I were talking this morning. I think the only thing we can do really at this point is just bench warrant him down here. Let's get the buccal swab and put a bow in this thing.
Okay, let me do this. We will do that, but I'm going to call the prosecutor's. Have you all called the prosecutor's office in El Paso?
We haven't, Judge, because we can't help. The state can't be.
No. I understand
Oh,
that,
right.
but I'm thinking maybe they have some information.
I've been in contact with, I want to say her name was Greenberg. And she was the prosecutor that we spoke to. Her involvement's been fairly limited once they assigned Mr. Husseini to it. But I can tell you what the last email I got from him was.
All right, let me do this. Any objections to me calling the public
None.
defender's
No,
office?
None. That was the most progress we got last time.
Okay.
Yeah, last thing I was July 31st, talking to Miss Marakeen.
Hi, this is Judge Boyd in the 187 District Court in Bexar County, Texas. Is there a public defender I can speak to? We've been trying to get a buccal swab because the defense counsel believes that his client may actually be innocent and his client is in custody in El Paso. So I'm trying to save time from us bench warning him back to Bexar County. I've been trying to get this buccal swab for a while now. All right, thank you. Okay. She says she's gonna go around the office to see if she can find someone.
Judge, it seemed kind of the latest status.
All right, and let me Google, who performs vocal swabs in El Paso?
They're saying nobody does it, no lab.
All right, what popped up in Google was something called Assurance DNA, that they do buccal swabs. Of course, it's paternity.
And that's what everybody's coming back, really, and they want to do the testing there too, that's the problem. So that's what we're saying, we won't find, there's no lab that will just do the buccal swab and send it to Bear County to get tested. They want to just do the paternity test. Like, we don't do paternity.
Let me see. I mean, because surely they do DNA testing for cases in El Paso, you would think.
You would think.
I mean, do they never have any case where they need DNA testing?
That's hard to believe.
Do they not have sex offenses in El Paso? I'm surprised this investigator doesn't at least know some officer that he can call, like, hey, you know, Jimmy, gonna get the buccal swab.
Mhm.
Get it done.
Okay, private DNA testing locations in El Paso.
I work for LabCorp and there's a couple others, but only thing they do is paternity.
Well, take down this number, because this is what's being pulled up. Oh. I don't know if they'll go to the jail, but it's 915-247-0680. And they're like scheduled now. So I don't know if they're actually making you go there.
I've tried that one, the schedule now.
Mhm.
We've tried that one and they won't do it.
They won't go there.
They won't go there to go get him and they say, nope, the only thing we'll do is paternity test. That's what it ends up being.
Oh my gosh.
I know. We just need a partner so we can carry DNA to what the cover here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna try this, and if this doesn't work, we'll just bench warrant him back then. I don't know why that's so hard.
I don't, either. It's been like 22, she's been doing this for well over 6 months.
Mhm. But you guys have been trying. I admire that.
We have been trying to stay on it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we just have guys.
I mean, I just find this very shocking, but I would tell you, no matter what happens, there's always a learning experience. Now we will know if something ever comes up and it's in El Paso, we'll know, hey, just bitch warn them back.
Thank you for waiting. I apologize for the hold.
Oh, no problem. Yes.
So basically, I that one of our investigators has been working with lawyer that they were.
Yes. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you. All right, you too.
Thank you.
All right, could you meet us, please? Mhm. Okay, all right, well, we can bring them out and out here. Okay. And that is Walbarker. All right, are we ready on Walbarker? Oh, no, I'm being told he stuck his finger in water and in the testing, which I find very suspicious. Yeah, no,
The other number two really bad,
nobody does that.
and I was trying to take.
Court is calling 2023 CR 0889, State of Texas versus Stephen Wayne Walbarker. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
Ron Ross for defense.
are you Stephen Walbarker? You entered a plea on June 15th, guilty to count 2. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. The state is silent on your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, we have, Judge, and by the way, it's a capital acres.
Ah,
Yes, and state is silent, Judge.
all right, if y'all want to, oh yeah, it is a captivate, okay. And the state is silent. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
We have, judges, just one correction or
Yes.
in the TAP evaluation. Down about toward the end of it, said that he's continued to use marijuana since he was arrested, and he says that's not true. He said since he's arrested, he was using it before, but since that he hasn't used it. That's what he tells me.
Well, we can't get a UA because
I know.
he stuck his hand in the cup. Nobody does that. I don't know anybody who would purposely or accidentally stick their hand in a cup of urine.
I just did, when there was no urine, ma'am, I just grabbed the cup. I didn't even.
Yeah, nobody does that. You wasted a UA in this court.
I can,
So, counsel, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I would say that he's 55. And I think his report, he's got child support obligations. He looks, I don't know that he's not diagnosed as mental slowness, but it seems to be. And his jobs, he's not had real good jobs right now. He works at a cook, but he is employed. He's been employed, and I don't know that at this point in time, sentencing the prison is going to really make much difference or correct his behaviors. I would ask you to make him do outpatient treatment. Let's see if give him a chance. I mean, I agree with you. I think it's kind of ridiculous what he says, but give him
Oh,
outpatient.
I would tell you, counsel, outpatient treatment is going to be out of the question. He's going into custody today. So either he's going to prison or either he's going to treatment. Those are his choices. Either he's going to safety. I know they're recommending SADC, but for someone to purposely invalidate a test, that tells me a little bit where he is with regards to his sobriety. So either you have a choice. You can go to safety or you can go to prison. If you wish to go to prison, I will sentence you to 4 years. Which do you choose, prison or treatment?
I'll take treatment.
All right, the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. Thank you. Suspended and probated for 8 years. Take in consideration 2023 CR 0888. Thank you. Got to sentence you to Safe P. Followed by aftercare. There's to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be the UA hotline upon release. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Field visits one time per month for 4 months. And if everything is going well with the field visits, probation, I'm going to want random field visits after that, and you'll be able to pick how often you wish to do that. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Judge, anything else?
Anything else you need from the court to be successful?
I mean, I'm-
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes.
All right. You do have a right to appeal since there were issues raised through pretrial motions. But however, this is a felony conviction. You're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition, any body armor or anything of that nature. Do you understand? If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is or body armor, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? We can go off the record. Mr. Wahlberger, here's the thing. When I ask for people to do UAs, sometimes I know that people are going to come in and they're going to be positive. I can see the signs when people are going to be positive. The reason why I'm asking is because I'm trying to determine, one, your level of truthfulness, and two, where you are in your sobriety. And when you are dishonest with me about your sobriety, you know what that tells me? That tells me you need to be in somebody's inpatient treatment. So you're going to inpatient treatment because of you. All you had to do was take the UA instead of sabotaging the UA test. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I don't know if that's. Can I see the parties? Where'd they go? It was David McLean. I guess they're looking into something. All right. Yeah, when you get a chance. Miguel Rangel. Okay. All right. So are you the attorney on all these cases or just one?
Just one, Your Honor, I believe.
Who is the attorney on the other cases?
I believe Mr. Castañon was appointed on this, Judge, on these cases. There seemed to be, sorry, Judge, something got a little convoluted with the jail when I made the bonds for Mr. Rangel.
Ah. All right, Mr. Rangel, you understand that he was the bondsman, not to be your attorney? All right, are you going to have any objection to his withdrawing?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All
May I
right,
be
it's-
excused.
Yes, and Mr. Rangel, you're actually set to be back in court on August 15th. Okay. All right, you have any questions about anything of the process?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll have you brought back on August 15th.
Okay, thank
All right, thank you. Norma, can you make sure that the other attorney is on his case? That's 2023 CR 5021. So he'll make sure he has an attorney for that. Okay. All right, who's here on Michaela Johnson?
Judge, I'm present.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
This is Michaela Johnson.
All right, so we're here for discovery. Where are we on discovery?
Judge, I think we're in good shape. We're just gonna confer on an offer and would ask for another pretrial.
All right, so has an offer been tendered?
No, Your Honor.
Is that gonna be tendered today? Or is that possible to have it tendered today or no?
It's possible.
All right, if it's not, just let me know. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
on Michaela Johnson, I need a 30-day reset. At that time, I'm gonna need an acknowledgement of discovery and an offer to be tendered. And then after that, I'll give you a plea deadline date.
Thank you.
Judge, additionally, we
Oh,
have.
just 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
One thing at a time, then we'll take up the
No
other
worries.
thing.
Can do, September 14th.
All
That's-
right,
That's good.
all right. So if you'll get the reset form ready for that, and let me just write this in the phone. All right. Then in two of the cause numbers, I have a motion to modify conditions of bond. Have both parties had a chance to review those?
I have, the state has, and reviewed with Mr. Hancock, and we're not opposed to it if that is verified. Mr. Hancock was sending me an email. I have not received it yet. Verifying that she is enrolled in high school. And an alternative campus.
So Judge, I certainly can show Mr. Garahan, we do have verification. She is 17 years old, lives in the Northeast School District, Roosevelt High School. Through her mother and planning for her senior year, they have sent her to some alternatives campus for Roosevelt High School. So we're just seeking relief from the monitor so she can get up at, I think, attend at 7:45 a.m. and be home by 4 p.m. And Judge, if there's more cause numbers, I would like that to apply to all of them. You made a good point. I filed.
All right, you also have the cause number ending in 3850.
Would you add that, Your Honor, to one of the,
Yes.
thank you so much.
All right, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2023 CR 3848, 3849, and 3850, State of Texas versus Michaela Johnson. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Pat Hancock for Miss Johnson.
And are you Miss Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is in receipt of motions to alter and amend conditions of bond. State, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Judge, we filed the motion to amend the conditions of bond as Miss Johnson is on full house arrest GPS. Her mother is present today. And she's 17 years old and she attends Roosevelt High School through Northeast Independent School District. Her mother has been informed that due to these arrests, she would be sent to an alternative campus for the immediate future. And we are just asking permission for her to be able to attend school at 7:45 a.m. I think it's released at 4 p.m. So she'd be home thereafter.
All right, state, any objections?
No objections as long as the device remains in place and the curfew is enforced, Your Honor.
All right. So I'll grant the motions in each cause number, but she is allowed to attend school upon verification. So you need to provide verification to her pretrial services officer.
Done, Your Honor. Thank you.
So, Ms. Johnson,
Yes,
here are
ma'am.
the rules. These are your school hours. That does not include any activities that may or may not be happening. If you detour from your school to somewhere else, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get a report. Your attorney is going to be called in here and you may end up being taken into custody. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any questions from anyone?
No, Your Honor.
No, say, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
It's just real briefly, I had a chance to speak with Mr. Briseno.
Mhm.
Basically, we're in the same position as we were. They're not able to get it unless they've got a local court order. And everybody he's talked to nurses, he's talked to other investigators. Everybody's
Okay.
telling them they won't do it because there's supposedly some sort of liability issue.
All right, Norma? I'm gonna need Jose Maria Cavazos bench warrant back here. All right.
I've got an address, if that'll help the court for the.
Oh, if you'll give it to Miss Ferguson.
I can do that, Judge. Thank you.
And Norma, how long do you think it will take to bring him back from El Paso?
Working days, plus the 5 visions.
All right, let's reset this for 30 days, but if he's back here sooner, just let the court know. What date, Miss Ferguson? All right, so we'll be back on September 14th or maybe earlier. You're welcome. Who's here on Jeffrey Kesey? Yes. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 3040, State of Texas versus Jeffrey Kesey. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Cross Banks of State of Texas.
Defense?
Your Honor, T. Christopher Lewis on behalf of Jeffrey Peasley.
All right, the court is in possession of a motion to modify conditions of community supervision. Defense is asking that the no unsupervised contact be lifted. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, state, do you have any objections?
Yes, because of the nature of the charge. the object.
All right, Mr. Kesey, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Who all lives in the home with you?
Now is my children, my wife, and our former nanny.
All right, so why can't the former nanny, the wife supervise?
Oh,
Yes,
My former nanny is moving out
okay,
and find her own place. And my kids got accepted to a science and technology school outside our district, and it's close 7 miles from my job. It's about 35 miles from my wife's job, so I'll just drop them off, pick them up from school.
Your Honor, I might add, during the sentencing process, you indicated that you did not want, at that time, his wife to supervise. You wanted the in-laws who were living with him to supervise and not just the wife. So that's why she couldn't do it.
all right, state, do you have any objection to the wife supervising?
If it is the wife supervising, no, the state has no objection to that, Your Honor.
All right, the wife can supervise, but the no unsupervised contact is to remain. All right,
Thank you, Judge.
all right, yes,
I do want to point out that Ms. Yes, it is.
okay.
That for CPS and
Thank you, probation.
Thank
All
you.
right, so this is what we're going to do. Because I know school is starting. I want to see how this goes with all of the confusion and miscommunications that sometimes happen when children are in school. So if you'll come back in November, because that will give you September and October to see how people are handling different issues, then the court will reconsider. But for now, the court will allow the wife to supervise.
Thank you, Judge.
And what did you learn from parenting classes?
I learned a lot. I learned different and better choice making when it comes to my children. And I've learned how to take time to react instead of being just immediate reacting from my frustration. And I learned just how to be a better and a more involved father.
And I'm sorry, what is your wife's name?
Shyla Kasi,
Spell that.
SHYLAH.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Charles, please.
All right, who's here on Arthur Beecham? Yes. All right, so it appears that Mr. Beecham is not going to regain competency.
No, Your Honor, that's what what the evaluation came back with. After that evaluation was done, Judge, the state, and by the state, I mean Miss Sally Ungerfer, requested that my client do a DID evaluation through ACOG. We had that evaluation on July 12th. The doctor has 30 days to turn it in. It's just shy of that. I confirmed with the clerks at the magistrate court that they still have not received the results of the DID evaluation. And until we get that back, the prosecutor that I'm conferring with will not kind of have an answer on how to resolve this case, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Beecham, usually this is the way it works when there are competency issues and persons are not regaining competency. According to the law, you will sort of be on probation for whatever the range of punishment is for your offense. So this offense is 20 years. So unless somebody decides to dismiss your case, that means we're going to be with each other for 20 years. Well, I probably won't be here for another 20 years because I'm in the twilight of my life, but somebody will be here. So this is what we will do. We will just do check-ins. So are you able to come down to the court every now and again?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll just set him for a check-in. What do you think is appropriate, counsel?
Judge, if whatever the court feels, if you would allow 60 days, Judge.
Okay. Is his mom here?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Could his mom come up, please? Hello. All right. So I know you work.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you able to Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
And will you be able to Zoom with him?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's do this. And I'm going to be dependent on you because I'm trying to do what's right to help him. And the state is trying to do what's right. And his counsel is trying to do what's right. So I'm going to schedule you all sort of like what they would do if you were in Judge Carruthers court, which is the mental health court. It would be nice if I could transfer this file to them. So every 90 days, we're going to have a Zoom meeting. If you feel that he's off his meds or something's going wrong, let us know. Because what I can tell you is when people are off their meds, things quickly go downhill. And then the problem becomes a bigger problem than what it otherwise would have been. So we're going to set him every 90 days to check in, to make sure he's doing okay. And mom, if he's not doing okay, if you will let his attorney know, and attorney, if you'll let me know. And again, if he's off his meds, my intention, and I'm sure the state's intention, is to make sure he gets back on his meds and everything is okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can I have a 90-day reset? Oh, you guys will be here on my birthday by Zoom. Okay. People don't care about my birthday. They're just setting things on my birthday. That's okay. All right. Yeah, it's, you know, I walk in the land of the living, in the land of the dead, since this is the Day of the Dead. All right, so we're going to come back on November 2nd, and you all are writing on the docket sheet that they can appear by Zoom. And council, just make sure that you get the Zoom link beforehand so they can have it.
Yes, Your Honor, and just so the court's aware, my client's on a shot for he's on an injection, so
Okay.
he's been consistent with meds
All
the
right,
entire time.
all right. And Mr. Beecham, is there anything you need from the court?
Well, I was asking if I could get off a monitor.
I tell you what, let's take that up in November because I need a sort of track record to see how you're doing. But I'll still let you do things while you're on the monitor, okay?
This one.
All right, so let me just see where we are and then we'll think about it, okay? All right, thank you so much. And look at him coming in here with the Notre Dame thing, not realizing I'm an LSU Tiger. All right, I'll see you all back on November 2nd by Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you, you're welcome. Let's see what page that's on. All right. Kevin Luna. All right, so we're here for discovery, and the last time we were here was in June. DNA issues.
Yes, Your Honor.
So where are we?
We are, I just thought, spoke to Mr. Powers. The buccal swab and everything was obtained on July 3rd and then sent to the lab by July 10th. I just reached out to the lab this week. It will probably take 3 to 4 weeks for that to come back, which I was happy to hear that it may come back pretty quickly. And then I think at that point, then all the discovery, it seems, would be attained. There's some other little hiccups in here that the court may or may not be aware. There might be a co-defendant that might be charged also. I spoke with Mr. Powers about that also. So plea negotiations probably beginning here in the next, this next setting
All right, so
possible.
I'm gonna give you all a reset for 60 days. And then if you want to come back before then, Mr. Powers, you can set it before then. If you have your information before then, you can come back before then. Because I know DNA evidence, sometimes it's a little iffy. The lab thinks something's going to be done at a certain time, then it's not. So I'll set you for 60 days. And then if your attorney gets information before then and he wants to come back sooner, he can always set it. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, if I can have a 60-day reset, it's Luna. All right, so we'll be back on October 12th. Mr. Luna, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, discovery. All right, if there's nothing else, you are excused. And everyone, we're taking our recess at exactly 12 because we have a jury coming back. Andrew Guerrero.
Good morning, Judge.
All right. And counsel, are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
Court is calling 2021 CR 6159, State of Texas versus Andrew David Guerrero. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Alfonso Cabañas for the defendant, Andrew Guerrero.
And are you Andrew David Guerrero?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Andrew David Guerrero who's placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 6159 for the offense of evading arrest, detention with a vehicle on November 19, 2021 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 4. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Andrew David Guerrero did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of February and March 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, ma'am. And Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections to the waivers?
No objections, Judge.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, court will find it true, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 3 years in the prison and up to a $1,500 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor. And it says do not deny the motion, extend the individual for 6 months and amend conditions to add state ISF cognitive behavioral track. And also have the probationer be supervised by the gang unit. That is also the recommendation by probation.
All right, counsel.
That is the recommendation, Judge, in conferring with my client. He's asking the court to follow a recommendation by the probation office.
All right, General, raise your right hand for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Andrew David Guerrero.
All right, so why are you not reporting?
I don't have no excuse, but it was just around COVID and I was having hard times and that's it.
2022? That's COVID time? We were having court in 2022, were we not?
Yes.
And this plea was taken. Yeah, I don't understand.
I was just having a hard time. I'm just,
All right, so why are you people are always throwing COVID around?
no, because I mean, I was looking for a job. I couldn't find a job. I was just having a hard time.
But what does that have to do about picking up the phone and calling probation?
Well, I had COVID at that time and I was reporting, but my probation officer had stopped me from going in and I was just calling and calling. And that's it. And I just stopped.
Here's the thing.
I'm just not.
You can't be before me and being dishonest, because I tell you what I will do. I'll have probation zoom in and let me know what's going on. I know COVID doesn't travel through the phone lines and they're saying you did not report. That's a problem. So basically what you're telling me is that you had COVID for the months of February and March.
No,
So why are you being dishonest with me?
I'm not. I just.
Making up reasons
No, ma'am,
for not doing what you're supposed to do. Here's the thing. And this is what I've discovered in my time on the planet. When you do something wrong, you know what the best route is? Usually, I'm not going to get into legal discussions, but usually the best route is, I was wrong, I'm sorry. And guess what? When you say I was wrong, I'm sorry, the other person on the other end, if they don't accept your apology, then that's on them, but you've done all you can do. You can't go back in the past and mess with the time continuum and report. So why were you not reporting?
Just having a hard time, man. I'm sorry. I was just having a hard time.
All right.
I didn't have a
And
place to stay. Didn't have a job. I was just having a hard time.
what's with the drug issue? Do you have drug issues?
No, not at all.
Mhm. All right. Anything else from either side?
Not from defense, Your Honor.
I'll deny the motion. I'm gonna extend you for 6 months. State ISF, cognitive, and gang supervision. All previous conditions remain, and that means the no contact with Brianna Castillo. Is there anything else?
No, yeah, that's fine, but I don't see how she's coming up if that was.
That was just a previous condition.
Because that's part of your conditions. No contact with Brianna Castillo.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, and then probation upon release. I'm gonna want GPS and he's allowed to work. So it'll be partial for work. And that'll be until further notice. Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am, thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here on Ashton? I'm sorry, Austin Anderson? Austin Anderson. All right, your attorney's not here. Just give me a moment. Leslie Cox. All right, counsel, we're here today for discovery. It's driving while intoxicated.
It is, Judge. So, Judge, we were here, last time we were here, I need to get a discovery order on file, the blood discovery.
Mhm.
I checked on that this morning, found the order was in, the submission was in drafts on my e-file. We didn't get it in, and that's on me, Judge.
Okay.
And so if we could.
So do you have a copy with you today or no?
We're e-filed it, and I can bring you the copy for you to sign.
All right, so that needs to be done today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ferguson? If I can have a 30-day reset on Cox for discovery? All right, just sign the reset form, then your excuse.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you. Once you give me the, yes, please. Alexander Castro.
Those are the ones that.
All right, state, did you tender an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. We did today.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson. On Alexander Castro. I need a plea deadline date in 2 weeks. All right, August 24th is going to be your plea deadline date. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. After that, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, once you sign your reset form, you're excused.
Maybe excuse when we sign.
Yes.
Thank you.
Austin Anderson. Is the attorney here for Austin Anderson? Okay. Thank you. Matthew Castro. All right. All right. You all are asking for bond?
Yes, Your Honor. He has 6 cases, 2 of them where he's been remanded without bond. The original bond on each was 5,000, and I believe the district attorney has agreed to 7,500 on each. So apparently he was remanded without bond on July the 29th.
I can give you.
I'm sorry, June 29th.
I can give you some history, Judge. So on the 2 state jails that he's remanded without, Mr. Butler was appointed.
Mhm.
He's also appointed on an unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, which must be a different bondsman because Mr. Castro still shows as being on bond for those or for that case. The bondsman filed an affidavit of surety to surrender, which of course was signed by the court.
Mhm.
That's what triggered the remand without bond. While he was in fugitive status, he's alleged to have committed some new offenses. I got appointed on those. he does have a bond set on those, but the issue is he's still remaining without on Mr. Butler's two cases.
All right. So normally the court will proceed, but because he's picked up new cases, you all need to file motions and we need to have a hearing. So if you all file a motion and if the state has no objection, the court can hear it on Monday.
I'm gonna be on vacation on Monday.
Okay, if you want to appear by Zoom, you can, or if you.
I'll be on an airplane.
Okay. So whatever date you all want to set it on. Okay. All right. Or if you all want to file a motion and we'll hear it this afternoon during break.
Not sure I have time to do that.
Okay. All right. Just let the court know then when would you all, well, these are all night mag and CM numbers. So just set it with Ms. Ferguson when you all want to bring it back and the court will hear it.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Or maybe Judge Nahara will hear it without a motion, but I need a motion. Yes. I mean, he may hear it without a motion, but I need a motion.
Okay.
Okay. Yvette Martinez. Yvette Martinez. Oh, you're here? Just have a seat.
And just to let you know, the victim on that is here for victim.
Okay, we are. Where's Kenneth Longacre? All right, thank you. I do have confidence in you.
There's supposed to be somebody zooming in to,
There's nobody on Zoom yet. No, you can just send them the ID. No, they shouldn't.
Judge, we're trying to remember, what the order was for the trial tomorrow or today. Are we doing arguments at 11 or 1 o'clock?
No, you're doing arguments on Friday.
Oh, no. I mean, for the hearing that we had yesterday,
Oh, 11.
11. Okay, yeah. it is. So.
Good morning. How are you doing? Oh, it's always great seeing you too, Miguel. Yes. Mhm. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes.
This case, it's an MTR, it's very early. We just called up to my client yesterday.
Mhm.
The thing is, he got for adjudication on June 3rd, 2022.
Mhm.
He got into ICE custody in June 4th, the next day, 2022. And then sentenced 18 months in federal jail. And he just.
He's
got
still in federal
deported.
custody.
No, he just got deported on May.
Mhm.
And have 4 kids here, US citizens. He came back to work to support them. They stopped him for speeding in forward on July 27.
Okay.
And we just talked to the ADA to see if we could continue him. And she agreed with some GPS restrictions. And we think we could put it for tomorrow in the dockets to do it.
Is he gonna be here?
But
Is he going, he's not,
he's in Burke County Jail and he's not here today, Judge.
oh,
We will try, we will like.
well, I will tell you, I'm not inclined to continue him because he wasn't supposed to come back.
Judge, I just went round and round.
Yeah, we were
This
talking
issue.
yeah, the last 30 minutes.
I mean, I
And so
will,
I said the only way, I'd be okay with it is if there's GPS so we can find him if he's not gonna, I just. I don't know.
Yeah, Judge, the
It's-
only thing is, I talked to him yesterday. He came back because of the need to support his children. We have
no, I mean,
4 of them, 18, 15, 12. and
I
7.
understand. I'll keep an open mind and hear everybody's argument, but
And actually, I might amend it to make a condition that he's deported, he needs to stay.
no, the problem is I've already put that as a condition. So I tell you what, I will keep an open mind
Thank you, Judge.
and that's all I can say.
Thank you, Judge.
And we'll see what happens.
Can we set it, if you think you can set it for tomorrow, Judge? In the morning?
And tomorrow's gonna be dicey because we have a closing arguments tomorrow. But maybe Monday, is that too late or you want to do it sooner?
I mean,
I mean, if you want to talk to Miss Ferguson and see. Yeah, just go ahead, tell her to put it on Friday and we'll see what we can do. Sure.
I appreciate it.
All right, you'll just have to wait though between the trial and everything. Okay.
I'd be patient as always. I like to be.
Oh, I know you will. I appreciate you, Miguel. Cameron Lawrence.
Judge, I'm present for him. He is in federal custody. I've conferred with the state. And they've, and he's also let me know, my client, that his sentencing date for his federal case is in September.
Okay.
And I believe after that, the case will be resolved and I'm assuming he'll be back in Bear County.
All right, Miss. We'll put this in October then,
Okay, Judge.
but if you have him here sooner, then we'll take it up sooner.
Okay, Judge, thank you. And I was just recently assigned to another case.
Mhm.
I had other cases, but there was a motion to withdraw. Mr. Rodriguez had an evading. I
Okay,
think that is.
just give me one moment. Let me do this and then I'll take that up. Yes. Yes, sure. And this is the file. Yeah, it's smart. Today is Friday's Eve. All right, and also Miss Ferguson or Lawrence, I need an October date. You're welcome. Oh, maybe not. And he's in federal custody. Do mid-October. All right, we'll do October 19th. And if you'll let his attorney, Mr. Castellano, know. All right, who's here on Robin Hernandez?
Judge, I'm here. We're gonna ask for a reset, Judge.
All right, Ms. Hernandez, if you'll come forward. All right, you didn't successfully complete your pretrial diversion.
Judge, that's what the file shows. Ms. Hernandez believes that she did. Now, I contacted the pretrial diversion units. I didn't talk to her caseworker. I talked to somebody else and they confirmed she did not complete it. She still thinks that she completed it. So what we want is a reset if we could. I want her to be sure. I want her to talk to her caseworker to get it from the caseworker. She didn't complete it. If she did not complete it, when we come back, we're going to do a plea. We have a plea agreement. And all we want is a short reset. When we come back, either we're going to find out the pretrial diversion was completed as a mistake, or she's going to do a plea.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On Robin Hernandez.
I mean, just, am I correct? Is that what you agreed to do?
Yes.
And when you come back and take a plea, one of the part of the plea is you're going to go to rehab. And you'll go into rehab right then and there that day, right? You'll be taken to custody.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we set this in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date? All right, your plea deadline date is going to be August 24th. Do you understand? They're going to give you a reset form and then you're excused.
Judge,
Yes.
it looks like I'm going to do a murder case on the 21st.
All right, let's do this.
So give me the Friday before or right after that week.
Norma, he's going to be in trial. So let's do this. Instead of doing it the 24th, can we set this for the 15th? Is that good?
For September?
August.
Oh, 15, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, that's. Yeah,
Yes.
what's the day? Today's the 10th.
Today is the
5 days.
10th.
No,
All right, so we're going to do August 15th.
that's it. You get some of this.
Is the attorney here for Austin Anderson?
Yes.
All right, today is the plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge, I have an agreement on a PTD. We've submitted our application. We're just waiting for the contract to be sent over.
and then we'll proceed from there.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a PTD date. I need a PTD date on Austin Anderson.
I could do September 5th.
All right, September 5th.
Okay,
Just sign the reset form and your excuse.
thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who is Miguel Rangel?
Judge, I was just assigned to that case this morning. He has a bond, or he does not have a bond set on that particular case. He has bonds on all other charges that I'm also representing him on. The
Mhm.
prior bond was $8,000. I was just asking the court to set a bond.
All right. On this one, you'll need to file a motion with me, or either you can have it referred to Judge Nahara. If you want to walk down to Judge Nahara's court and see if he can take it, he'll
Sure.
perhaps take it.
Okay, Judge.
All right, and here's the B page, so you'll have it.
Thank you, Judge.
Shane Riley. Come forward. All right, where are we on the competency evaluation?
So our office called Carruthers Court to check like what's else, because he's obviously on bond. And so they're supposed to reach out to him
Mhm.
to schedule the appointment with the doctor.
Okay,
It's actually done. Yeah. Oh, okay. And so nobody has reached out to him. And so we checked, and Carruthers Court said that there's some issue just with the coding in the system, that the motion for competency was granted, but some thing in the computer system is not coded properly.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna try to figure out with the clerks.
Okay.
But the point is, we don't have a disposition on his competency at this point.
all right, Ms. Ferguson, on Shane Riley, I need a 45-day reset. Mhm.
And I will say, he's been, despite his hardships, he's been very good about coming to court
Mhm.
and following rules as best he can.
Okay,
So, September 21st.
all right, September 21st, and counsel, if you can keep in contact with Judge Carruthers.
I will, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank
and they'll
you.
give you a reset form, then you're excused.
Thank you.
Oh, you can have a seat. All right, could I see the MAC on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi.
Morning, how are you?
All right, how are you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you.
So in this case, a plea bargain agreement has already been entered. The plea bargain agreement is for probation. We've been back time and time again to try to have this hearing set. The complainant has been coming down for each sentencing. So it needs to go today.
Okay, so I was gonna let the court know, we cannot get a hold of Mr. Longacre. We've been trying to get a hold of him for.
I know. So we're gonna have to have another attorney placed on it.
Okay, is it just a plea and?
Oh, it's a sentencing. And the agreement is for probation. We just need somebody to stand in for the sentencing.
Is it a set term already?
Is it a set term on a,
I'm sorry.
is it a set term of probation?
Yes, could I see the file on Yvette Martinez? Yes. Mhm.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
We have just a minute to consult with the client.
Sure.
Thanks.
Yvette Martinez, could you raise your hand, please? Thank you. Norma, we need David McLean back. He has Matthew Stripling. Okay. Eric Diaz. Eric Christopher Diaz. Can I see that file, please? Francis Barnett the sixth.
They're gonna be on.
Okay. Michael DeLeon. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Running around, everybody's bringing juries into their courtroom and nothing's getting done. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and Norma, we need to have Cornelia Scott appointed as a witness to our, the complainant in the jury trial. Yes. Yeah, we can give one each. All right, Mr. DeLeon. Ms. Ferguson needs to speak with you.
I just came by to say good morning.
Yeah, I love when you come in to say good morning. It reminds me of, what's her name? Gracie's Corner.
What's Gracie's Corner?
It's this family that's out of Houston, and they do these YouTube videos. It's for children.
Okay.
So I started watching those with my niece. And so Gracie's Corner, they have this song, Good Morning, Today is going to be a great day. It just makes you feel like today is going to be a great day. So when anyone says good morning to me, automatically that song pops into my head.
Okay. Well, that makes sure it's your day.
It does.
Is it tomorrow? Mr. McLean said he'll be back.
Okay.
I'll be.
All right, counsel, Mr. Bias. No. If your client is here and you're all ready for argument, I can hear your argument.
And if I may, I was just talking to the prosecutors.
Sure.
And my client is here, he's in the back.
Okay.
I am going to, in the record,
No, we're not on the record yet.
I'm gonna forego all my attempts to introduce all those exhibits.
All right, so we'll just put that on the record that you're withdrawing the exhibits. And before we do that, there were 3 exhibits.
I did find them and I have them for you. Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes, no, you were correct.
all right,
I'm
so
old and I'm-
let's put this on the record. And of course, counsel, if you want the court to hear your argument, the court will hear your argument and make a ruling. But since you're saying you do not, if you could have your client, Mr. Thomas, come forward. Oh, I think he's sitting there. Mr. Baez. Oh, that looks exactly like his client on the front row. All right, the court is going to call 2021 CR 4470, State of Texas versus Richard Thomas. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ruben Herrera for the state.
Defense?
Dr. Baez on behalf of the defendant.
And are you Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
All right, so counsel, you had sought to introduce into evidence defense exhibits 2, 3, 4, 5, and I believe defense exhibit number 14, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And also defense exhibits number 12 and 13.
That is also correct, Your
All right. And the court had a 412 hearing, and today the court was going to hear argument for both parties on whether or not the court should allow those exhibits introduced into evidence, correct?
That's correct. That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. And we did have a hearing, and that hearing was in camera under seal. So Mr. Baez, are you informing the court that you are withdrawing those exhibits and not seeking to introduce them?
Your Honor, that is correct. After doing some research last night and going through the exhibits again, and I was trying to hold for the exceptions to the 412, 609, modus, so on and so forth. And I don't believe I'm gonna be able to get there, not at this time. So as a result, Your Honor, we're gonna withdraw all those exhibits if we are allowed.
Okay, so the defense is seeking to withdraw defense exhibits 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 13, and 14. Any objections from the state?
No objections from the state.
All right. And then counsel, if you believe that at some point in time, those are relevant and you're able to introduce them, that will still need to be done outside the presence of the jury. And of course, the court will hear whatever argument parties has.
That will only happen, Your Honors, as we see it, if the exception arises. But as of right now, we cannot.
All right. And then with regards to defense exhibits 8, 9, and 10, we were missing those.
Your Honor, I found them. The court reporter told me, and so she hounded me. She threatened me. No.
Okay.
And so I found them. Your Honor.
All right. And those exhibits were not offered into evidence. Those were just used with regards to the CPS caseworker. All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor. I guess just in anticipation of anything going further, and that any allusion to any of those exhibits be brought up before the court outside of the presidential jury prior to going down any line of questioning.
If I believe that exception has to arise, I will approach the court. I will ask.
All right. So we'll start the trial at 1 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, who's on it here on Eric Christopher Diaz? Eric Christopher Diaz? All right, we'll wait your turn. Whenever you all are ready on Yvette Martinez. Norman, you say he's on bond?
Yeah, he's on bond.
All right, just give me a moment. Hi. Well, ask his, have the defendant on that one case come up and ask him if he would like to have an attorney reassigned.
Mr. Smith?
Mr. Smith, come forward. Oh, you'll speak.
Party. I'm on trial.
Okay, all right, then we'll sign him. All right,
Oh, sorry.
yes. I think he needs to talk to his client. Has he already spoken to his client or no?
No, ma'am. Yes, I think he still needs to.
And Norma, we'll put on the record that he's saying that he hasn't had contact. Oh, you can let him know that his client is requesting another attorney. And you can let him know what he said. Okay. Yes. Francis Barnett. All right, we're waiting for your attorney. Okay. Well, whenever they're ready. Are you already on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if I could have
I have short arms.
That's okay. You can walk around. All right, who's here on Yvette Martinez? Miss Martinez, if you'll come forward. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 1876, State of Texas versus Yvette Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jason Garahan.
for the defense?
Jonathan Chavez for Ms. Martinez.
Are you Miss Martinez?
Yes.
All right, this case has been rescheduled more than once. And it was due to the fact that Miss Martinez's attorney that is listed on the record, Kenton Longacre, was unable to appear. And so it was reset for today. The court will note that each time this case has been set, the complainant has appeared. So the court informed Matt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. And so what is the status?
Your Honor, the attorney who has been assigned, we have been unable to contact him for the past 3 weeks. We have spoken with both the state and Ms. Martinez, and we're comfortable with going forward with sentencing today.
All right, Ms. Martinez, are you prepared to proceed? You're gonna need to speak up.
Yes, yes,
All right, and you're prepared to proceed with these attorneys?
yes.
All right. So in this case, you entered a plea of guilty to count 1 on June 5th. The court requested a PSI and TAP evaluation. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI and TAP evaluation, state,
Yes, Your Honor.
defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI or TAP evaluation?
No, Your Honor.
And I forgot to put this part on the record. Ms. Martinez, have you had ample time to speak with the current attorneys?
Yes.
Okay. You entered a plea bargain agreement. According to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment was to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state is opposing your application for deferred adjudication. They are recommending community supervision. There is to be restitution to the complainants in the case. And there are stipulations about your location. Did you understand that as the plea?
Yes.
Okay. Counsel, is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we just ask that you follow along with the plea agreement of the 10 years probation.
Okay. State?
Your Honor, the state is in the agreement following the rec here, Judge, opposed to the deferred, and also to follow the tax recommendations.
And that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right,
Your Honor, may I speak with well, may I speak with the client real quick?
yes,
Thank you. Something's just been brought to my attention.
Okay.
Just a brief moment.
sure. Keandre Davis? All right, this is a motion to revoke. Are you all ready to proceed?
We're not, Your Honor, we need a contested hearing on this.
All right, and again, you go to the center. You're on that side, your client is in the center.
Self-centered person.
All right. State, when will you be ready for this contested hearing?
I can confirm with probation.
Sure.
Probation indicated that we released 2 weeks ago.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, I need this reset for 2 weeks.
And Your Honor, because the defendant was being supervised on probation out of Tarrant County, would it be possible to have his probation officer from Tarrant appear via Zoom?
It depends on whether or not the defense is going to object to their appearance by Zoom.
We would object, Your Honor.
All right. So just let them know to appear here. All right, we'll recall this for September 24th and have,
August 24th.
I'm sorry, August 24th. And we'll have that person here by Zoom. So just so everybody knows, this is a contestant. So when you come back on August 24th, of course, if somebody decides to plead true, I will hear it, but it's set for a contestant.
And just to be clear for the record, Your Honor, that's going to be in person.
In person.
Obviously.
All right, in person.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Honor.
You're welcome. Christian Smith. All right, Mr. Smith. An attorney was appointed to you. My understanding from listening to the conversation with the court coordinator, the previous attorney, had you had any contact with him?
Not recently, no. I tried to call his office yesterday. He didn't pick up. They said they won't call me back. Called him 5 times. He never called me back.
All right, so Mr. DeLeon has been appointed to represent you. So today was discovery date, but Mr. DeLeon, since you've just been appointed, I will give you all a reset. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on this case, please?
September 14th.
All right, so we'll be back on September 14th. Mr. DeLeon, if you want and your client wishes to be back sooner than that, just let the court know.
Sounds good, Judge. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Terrence Truesdale. Good morning. All right, so today's plea deadline date, what's going on?
Judge, we have a discovery issue. The defense brought to my attention that we thought we had provided everything, but there is a Nest video that neither the defense or I have. We thought we had it, but we have a photo from a text message of like, here's the Nest video. We don't have the video itself.
All right, do we know if the Nest video has been purged?
Well, so when defense brought this to my attention this morning, I emailed the manager of the bar where this occurred, and I haven't heard back from him yet. I emailed him this morning, Judge, and after docket, I'm going to figure out which SAPD property crimes email to send it to see if they have it. I believe that the bar owner or the bar manager sent it to SAPD already, so I believe they have it, but I'm not positive of that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if I can have a reset date in 20 days, please. And it's discovery. All right, we'll be back on August 31st.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am. You have a good day.
You too. Eric Diaz. All right, and can I see the file on Barnett, please? Waiting for your attorney. No, Christopher Diaz. Barnett, Mr. Morris by Zoom. So who's doing it?
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right, Francis Barnett, come forward.
Hey, Cynthia.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hey, Judge.
Hello.
I'm trying to stand. Like, check this out.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I'm trying to stand.
All right, thank you. Oh, please have a seat. So the state is still conferring on your case?
Judge, I'm sorry, we're ready.
Oh, okay. Things are just turning on a dime. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 1567, State of Texas versus Francis Marion Barnett the sixth. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Blakely Moore for the defense. And hey, Jason, nice seeing you, man.
See you too soon.
And,
Robert Steve Wilson, co-counsel for defense.
all right, the defense filed a motion for early termination of deferred adjudication and then filed an amended motion for early termination of deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review, or state, have you had a chance to review the motion for early termination?
I have in front of me the amended motion.
Okay. Sure. Deputy Lord, you could have it. Thank you.
Yes, Judge, we have reviewed those.
No problem. All right, state, are you in objection?
Yes, Judge, we're opposed to the early termination.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Yes, Judge, we presented this motion at the time that Mr. Barnett had taken this plea. It had been on, we've gone through several trial dockets, and he had been on a STRAM monitor and ignition interlock for several years prior to us ever getting the case resolved. And he had no violations of any kind and had always abided by the court's order. At any time he wanted to seek modification of those conditions, he always presented himself timely and dressed properly for this court. Now, I know that doesn't weigh into whether or not to terminate a case early, but I just wanted the court to know that he's, beyond him being on this current supervision, he was under the strictest of bond conditions prior to. He also completed outpatient treatment, met with psychologists, psychiatrists, completed every condition of probation ahead of time. When I met with probation officer Cynthia Perez, who's on this call with us, he is a perfect probationer at this time. He's had no violations. The reason we started to pursue this was, and we know it's not necessarily at the half mark yet, but restitution has been completed by all the insurance companies involved. There's no restitution owed. There's no outstanding debts owed to society beyond him just reporting monthly. I know probation on its own was considering doing a motion to amend probation just on its own merit to change him from the monthly, they do month, and Cynthia, maybe you could help me out. The check-ins at the house, what are those called?
For the field visits?
Yeah, so they were about to discontinue the field visits, not seeing that those were necessary anymore, which would just leave him on just checking in monthly and on ignition interlock. So Mr. Barnett consulted with us because since he took this plea, it's affected his ability to maintain gainful employment in the field he was in. He was in medical pharmaceutical sales. Obviously, traveling with ignition interlock, he can't do interstate travel because when he travels out of state and needs to take clients out, he can't rent a car without a vehicle with ignition interlock in it. Also, as he is trying to apply for new positions in this field or try to do lateral movements, what is coming up is the fact that he's presently on probation, and that he has been told that unless this is discharged, he can't pursue these things that would advance his career. And so, and I told him, that this is totally discretionary to the court. I assume the state would oppose it, but I told him it's, when Gretzky says you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and we wanted to put it in front of the court. And then alternatively, Your Honor, if he was to be denied, I advised him that he could always pursue this again in the future. And we would ask the court at that point for some other modifications of his current probation, Your Honor.
Okay, and I see that this was originally an intoxication assault, and he entered a plea to count 3 and count 4.
That's correct, yeah.
State?
Your Honor, I think that really the state's position is this is not even at the halfway mark at this particular point. And on top of that, the admission interlock is supposed to be imposed until, I believe, 2024. So the state's position is that we haven't made even the halfway mark. I know this is not considered a 3G because it was a plea to count to 3 and 4, which was an ag assault, SBI. But if this was an intox assault, to be considered that, and it would not be eligible for early termination, at least until the halfway mark. So I believe this is sort of a little early in the game to be asking for an early termination of his probation at this point, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, may I add?
Sure.
One more thing. Mr. Burnett has been laid off. He is looking for a job. It's not just that it affects his ability to go enhance his career. He needs to go find a job. And therefore, that's really what prompted this, is this need to find a job.
Okay. So what is precluding him from finding a job?
I'll let Mike answer that.
So when he's applied, Your Honor, just for the things I've stated before, when he has applied, and he shared these things with the probation department as well, but when he applies and they do a background check, it's not that he has this on his record that's precluding him. It's the fact that he's actively on probation, and that he has to travel domestically, interstate for bulk of his work and internationally in the medical and pharmaceutical sales business. He was doing quite well up until this tragic case, and which he did accept his portion of responsibility for. I don't know if Your Honor remembered the facts of this case.
Yes.
Okay, and so that's that he's being told by them exactly what's going on, and the fact that he is going to be obligated and was in his prior role taking CEO, Alphabet officers out for, the schmoozing, the dinners and the meetings, and he can't rent a car to go pick up the clients at this point because it requires him to have ignition interlock everywhere he goes. So it's both the background, them running his background and seeing he's actively on felony probation or deferred, and coupled with the fact that he is restricted in his ability to rent vehicles that are without ignition interlock.
All right, Mr. Barnett, I want you to realize that I'm internalizing everything that is being said to me,
Yes, ma'am.
but there are always consequences for actions, right? And the complainant in this case had a fractured pelvis.
Yes, ma'am.
Complainant's life is never going to be the same. Your life is never going to be the same because you're on probation. And with probation, there comes difficulties. And sometimes based upon what you're on probation for, that means that you can no longer work in the field that you were previously in. So I understand that you don't have employment. I understand that you can't get employment in the field that you were previously in. I understand that may mean that you're not making the money that you're used to making, but those are called consequences. So I always tell people you got to knock your pride aside and work wherever there's employment. If you have a savings, then if you want to deplete your savings, eventually you'll probably have to get a job. I think the cryptocurrency thing is done for. So you're just going to have to get another job. And guess what? I always tell people, even if that job is working as a fry cook, guess what? In this world, there needs to be a fry cook. In this world, there needs to be somebody to dig ditches. In this world, there needs to be somebody to bring crops in, and there's no shame in doing it. My mom was this close to working on a garbage truck because she had to support her children. And that was back in the day where you actually rode on the back of the truck, you got off the truck and you picked up the garbage cans. And that was back in the day when people did not use trash bags. So if you can imagine it, and you know why she was going to do that? Because she needed to support her children and she was knocking her pride aside, because I don't know anyone who wanted to do that, but she was going to do that. And then she got called for another job, but she was willing to do that. So sometimes we have to do what we don't want to do. and there are consequences. So your consequence is, this is where you are. I'm going to deny the motion. And I always talk to people because I want them to know that I have listened to everything. And it's not just pro forma for me that I'm automatically going to deny something or not. But come back and have the term and I'll reconsider. We'll see where we are.
Your Honor, with you denying the motion, Your Honor, can I
Yes.
just an oral motion to do what probation was asking, which was to amend probation conditions to stop the community home visits that are monthly. That was something she was going to raise and asked me to piggyback that.
All right. I will tell you, I'm going to continue with those home visits until he gets employment. Once he has employments, then the court will consider eliminating the field visits.
And then Judge, just creatively knowing that the early termination has been denied and he's going to continue to be on deferred. And as Jason pointed out, there's no requirement. He has to remain on ignition interlock. And Your Honor, he has not had a violation in 5 years of monitoring. And he had the most restrictive conditions while we were on bond waiting for trial. He was on scram monitor for 2 years. He doesn't drink. He this completely changed the way he approached life. He's done everything the court would ask to protect society. May we amend the bond or the probation condition related to monitoring his vehicles?
I'm not willing to do that at this stage.
Okay.
right.
And the other thing we were contemplating was, can we switch him to report by mail or pro forma? Since right now all he does is check in.
No.
So still monthly in-person visits?
Yes.
All right, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moore. I think he wants to speak with his attorney. Just 1 second. The attorney, I should say the attorney that's in court.
Yeah, thank you, Judge, for doing it this way. I'm actually picking a jury in an hour, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You know, Mr. Barnett has come several times to ask for permission to travel out of state in order to look for jobs. And when he worked, traveled to work. Can we lift the state injunction to go travel out of state for work?
He needs to, 1, a motion will need to be filed. 2, he'd need to provide proof of that to the court. Then the court will consider that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You're welcome.
Maybe we
Thank you all. Nice seeing you.
All right. Thank you. Good luck with your trial.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Who's here on Victoria Cifuentes? Who's the person on that case? All right. Who's here on Juan Carlos Torres Rivera? All right, where's your client?
He's detained.
He's in the back?
He's in the back.
All right, so if you guys are not ready, if your client's not out here, so you'll have to have the deputy bring them out.
Okay, well, I just wanted to give a quick announcement.
Sure, no problem. Christopher Medina? Sir, your attorney is not here?
Yeah, that's good. Yes, Your Honor.
Oh.
We have just a couple
Come up.
minutes, Judge.
I'm sorry?
We have just a couple of minutes.
Sure.
Judge.
Delphina Spiller? Come down. Spiller? Counsel, are you ready to proceed on this motion?
I am, but Mr. Wilkins.
Okay. All right, court is calling 2021 CR 5216, State of Texas versus Delphina Spiller. Can our parties announce for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Valerie Headland.
And are you Ms. Spiller?
Yes, I am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilty and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Are you the same Delphina Spiller who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 5216 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on September 10th, 2021 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, that's me.
State?
Violated condition number 5 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Delphina Spiller did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of July and August 2022 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State,
Your Honor, we waive and abandon the other violations alleged.
any objections?
No.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, I do.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, I do.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Judge, there's not a proposed agreement. We were gonna recommend 5 years, and I believe the defense would like to ask for an alternative to that, Judge.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, without going into so many details and background on this, and certainly not to offer excuses, Your Honor. I did meet with Ms. Spiller for a long time last week. She has had some serious health issues starting about the time that she did last reported to probation. And it had her in and out of the hospital from around June, July of 2022. September, they finally diagnosed her. And then she went septic and went into the hospital for 3 weeks in November. I don't think she was in a right frame of mind at all. I did ask her, why didn't you just pick up the phone and call probation, call the court? She was eventually picked up because, well, she was in Spring Branch. And then after she resolved some of the medical issues.
Was she supposed to be in Spring Branch?
No, Your Honor. Her mother-in-law lives in Spring Branch with her children. And her mother-in-law was administering the IV antibiotics and everything that she was going through. And her mother actually has custody. Is it one daughter or two? Just one daughter. Because of a very serious incident that happened with her eldest daughter in 2017. Ever since that date, I think Miss Spiller's life has spiraled out of control.
And has she picked up any new offenses since
That's
she
the
was?
problem. She has 2 new, excuse me, number 1s out of Comal that are for misdemeanor charges that are from September of 2022, all along the same kind of time frame.
And what are those charges?
I think fraud, use, possession, less.
Failure to
than five-
identify.
Failure to ID. There's an offense report in the summary.
All right, and so she has fraud use, and I will tell you that in this plea bargain agreement with the case, they took into consideration fraud use cases.
Yes.
And so I have before me a person who's not reporting and is alleged to have picked up new fraud use cases and didn't pick up the phone and call probation.
Yes, Your Honor. There, she knows not to just stand before you and make excuses or say it's a mistake. She knows that, but in the Comal report, at least, she was with a person that got charged heavily with other items and issues, and she was coming out of the Tractor Supply. So there's a paragraph in there that addresses her. The majority of the report is for the person that she was with.
All right, the person she was with, does he have criminal charges?
I would imagine so, based on that.
And she's not supposed to be around people who have criminal charges.
Yeah. I would ask Judge, this is her first MTR. And the charge is a 2nd-degree felony, her underlying from 4 to 200. It was 5-point-something grams of meth at the time. So if that's any consolation, I would beg that she be allowed to continue probation. At worst, revoke sentence her for the convictions. And I think she's on the bird. And then place her back onto probation so that she can seek additional help and support. She is with her sister now back in San Antonio. I think her sister is a good influence and is helping her. She also suffers from diabetes, Your Honor. She's having vision loss, so she can't read the paperwork that I give her. She had a doctor's appointment scheduled for July 27th that she missed because she was taken into custody on this case. That's why I asked the court to bring her a little bit quicker. So I would just ask that she not be sentenced to TDC. I realize there's not really an alternative placement for her, like treatment, because she has charges pending in Comal that I can't really do anything. I don't have any influence in those cases. So we're just asking the court to, if it were sentence her, revoke her, but put her back on probation since she's never been to TDC.
All right, Ms. Spiller, there are consequences for actions. I am going to grant the motion, find you guilty, revoke, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine, time and money rent concurrent. If you would like, I can ask that you be placed in the therapeutic community. I have no jurisdiction for you to be placed in the therapeutic community. You'll have to ask for it as well. But the therapeutic community is helpful in any type of drug issues that anyone may have. Would you like me to request the therapeutic community?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll request the therapeutic community. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
I did.
All right, you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand? Because this is I'm sorry, you need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better, okay? All right, thank you. Are you all ready on Yvette Martinez?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we're back on the record in 2023. CR 1876, State of Texas versus Yvette Estrella Martinez. Counsel, have you had ample time to review things with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, we actually wanted to update the court. There are some things in the PSI that I believe we would like to object to as far as statements that were made.
Sure.
But also there was an overlook on my part that SATF residential treatment was the recommendation. There were two options and I overlooked that. So Mr. Garahan pointed that out.
Yes.
And that's what I pointed out to the client. And I would ask the court at this time for more time for sentencing, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, wherever Kenneth Longacre is, he needs to be here. So does anybody have his number? I will call him. All right, if you will text me his number and if he wants to appear by Zoom, he can appear by Zoom. But this case is going to happen today. The complainant keeps coming down every single time. I know Ms. Martinez keeps coming down every single time.
I think just myself personally being ineffective for arguing.
No, I understand. Thank you. All right, everyone, just have a seat. I sent a text message.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, is the attorney here on Eric Diaz? Adolph Lopez, the attorney. All right, come forward. What is happening on this case?
We were looking into whether he could be placed in mental health PTD or mental health court. He can, because it's not a misdemeanor PTD with Judge Runhell, but he was approved for DDRF.
All right, so then, Ms. Abrams,
Yes,
on Adolph Lopez, they said that he's been approved for DDRF.
he has been approved for DDRF and he already has a condition for DDRF. I have placed an email to ensure that he's already been placed on the review list.
All right,
Thank you.
and I am writing that in the file. All right, thank you. Yes,
So on this thing, like they said, okay, what's going to happen? If you don't mind asking?
you can ask any questions. What's going to happen is you're going to remain in custody. Then you're going to be transferred to a facility that will handle any type of mental health issues that you may have.
I don't got mental health issues.
Okay.
I'm a
well,
rich man, you know.
Yes.
Basically, my other probation officers
Mhm.
and my probation says get out, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know why on this charge,
Mhm,
I go from state hospital
mhm.
and then he gets involved. Well, where's my other lawyer at when he said I was gonna get out? And they
Okay.
get switching up lawyers on me.
All right, so this is what's going to end up happening. So I'm internalizing what you're saying. I want you to internalize what I'm saying, because I want to make sure that you don't have any violations on your probation. I want to make sure that you're not getting into any type of trouble. So what's going to happen is you're going to wait at the jail. They're going to take you to a mental health, wait a minute, they're going to take you to a mental health facility. When they examine you there, if they say everything is okay, I will immediately get a report. We will immediately bring you back and you will immediately be released. You understand?
Yeah, but
Okay.
What about the probation?
Oh, you'll still be on probation.
That don't make sense. So
I know.
I mean, I know that they got so much a grudge against me because
Who has a grudge against you?
I mean the people, you know.
Yeah.
You know, my dad, I'm rich, you know what I'm saying? So I mean basically
That
they
can
tryna
cause
hold me.
jealousy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And
Okay.
basically my dad's waiting on me to get out, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So are you able to, do you have your father's address? Are you able to write to him?
What they're doing is wrong, you know. I can say it over and over and they can hate it all day. I don't, but basically I'm trying to go home. I don't need to be mental. I'm not mental. I'm basically.
All right. I tell you this, let's do this.
This is a waste of time.
No. Let's do this. Let's do this. When you go to the jail, I want you to write a letter. I want you to, well, or either call whatever relative you want to call. And guess what? If they come into the court and they want to speak to me, I'll speak to them. Okay? That's what I'll do.
But I want to know what's going to happen. How long, what?
All right. The first thing that's going to happen is you're going to go back to the Bexar County Jail.
How long am I be there?
Right, wait, let me finish. First step, you're going to go to the Bexar County Jail. Second step, from the Bexar County Jail, you're going to go to the DDRF facility. Third step, a doctor is going to see you there. And they are going to make sure that everything is happening, what should be happening with you. Fourth step, once they tell the court that you're okay, or your attorney tells me that you're okay, or your attorney tells me he wants you brought back, we'll have you brought back. All right? Thank you.
Okay, well, when am I getting released?
After you go to DDRF. So once you go to DDRF, then you'll be released.
Okay, and then I could go get by my mansion.
Okay. You're welcome. Crystal May Martinez. All right, counsel, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, we are here.
Court is calling 2021 CR 2977, State of Texas versus Crystal May Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Megan Enriquez for Crystal May Martinez.
Are you Crystal May Martinez? All right, counsel, you were appointed on this case today. You do have 10 days to prepare. Do you still wish to proceed?
We wish to proceed today and waive the 10 days, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Martinez, do you understand that your attorney has 10 days to prepare?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still wish to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Crystal May Martinez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 2977 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, on September 21st, 2021 for a period of 3 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 4 in Baird County, Texas. The defendant, Crystal May Martinez, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of June, July, September, and October 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, state weighs all the violations.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it would be, it was a proposed agreement for revocation, 250 days in the state jail facility.
I'm sorry, how many days?
250.
Is that what you're asking the court to follow?
Yes, Your Honor, in addition to giving her credit for the time she has served, I believe she has 85 days credit in the Baird County Jail.
All right, probation. Has she done anything on probation? Right. So this is what the court is going to do. The court will find you guilty, going to grant the motion. The court will sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility and give you credit for any time served. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is not a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on deferred adjudication. Do you understand? You need to say yes or no.
Ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you would like, I can refer you to the therapeutic community. The therapeutic community does not increase the time that you're in custody, but they would be able to help you with any type of drug issues you have. Would you like therapeutic community? All right, good luck to you.
Would you like to?
Ma'am, they said I didn't do
Hold
anything.
on, hold on one second.
Yes.
Your Honor, can she have a brief moment to address the court? She would like to tell the court, like what she did do on probation.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Crystal Martinez.
All right, so what did you do while on
Like I
probation?
did report, I have 4 months that I reported and I did do the drug hotline. I didn't always test, but I did do my drug. I did call it almost every day and I did drug test a couple times, but I did report for 4 months. It was when they switched my probation officer from missing one time that I was supposed to report that they switched. That is when everything started messing up, because she would send me an email telling me when I had to go in and report, and then turn around and send me another email telling me that she changed the day I had to report and give me a new date to report.
All right, so I want you to internalize what you told me.
So yes, I messed up. I'm not, but like,
No, but you just told me.
I didn't do my
that you-
classes because I can't afford a $285 class.
No, here's the thing. What you've informed me of is that you were doing the UA hotline and sometimes you didn't test.
No. But I was on it, but the days I didn't test, my probation officer knew that I wasn't gonna test.
When you're supposed to test, you're supposed to test. It's not calling your probation officer telling them that you're not going to test.
I'm saying she knew I wasn't gonna, because I was in her office with her, signing the paperwork.
All right.
So this is pointless, because I'm still gonna do it.
Well,
All right, who's
Your-
here on?
Your
Yes.
Honor, just can you also admonish her that there is good time credit in the state jail facility, and
Yes.
it's possible she can only have to do 80% of the time. Is that
It
correct?
doesn't matter, I didn't wanna do a year.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sure, thank
Who-
you.
Who's here on Shalice Schutz? Yes, where is she?
She is not here. This is an off docket matter. I was conferring with the state and they suggested that we should approach with this. Ms. Schnitz is the sole caregiver for her child. She has a meet the teacher tonight. The state's willing to allow her to go to the meet the teacher. But we also need her to be able to pick up and drop off her child from school. It's 1.5 miles from her house. If
Okay,
we
how do you spell her last name?
SCHNITZ.
That's not what's on this.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
So the pronunciation is not the best.
I apologize.
Haven't we already been here for this?
I don't think this.
Not this particular motion. Your Honor.
Yeah, it was set recently.
Yes, and it was for her to go to school. Can somebody pull and see? Because I remember this case. And it was for her to take her children to
So
school.
we couldn't come to an agreement on that, Your Honor. So I think that we were going to set it to Mr. Nakata or to Judge Nakata.
Mhm.
But the urgency, there has been a development in Ms. Schnitz's personal life where she's the only person who can take her little girl to school.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm not doing tracking only. That's what's in this motion. So I'm not doing that. She is on bond for manslaughter, intoxication, manslaughter.
And so what I
I'm
was,
not removing the urinalysis requirement.
she's also on the drug patches is the,
I understand. So you're all in agreement to her being allowed to attend the meet and greet teacher?
Yes, Your Honor, which is tonight because of the.
and then they were leaving it up to the judge or to the court about whether or not she could pick up and drop off her child from school, which is all we're asking for today.
Well, technically, we're leaving everything up to the court, but
Clearly.
we would rather be heard on the dropping off every day.
Because I don't even have, there's no time in here for drop offs and anything with regards to the school. So with regards to that, you will need to have your client here and the court will hear the motion on that.
Should we do that tomorrow, Your Honor?
We're in a jury trial tomorrow. So if you want to do it on Monday, we can do it on Monday.
That's the only thing is that's the first day of school.
Yeah. If y'all want to have Judge Nahara hear it, and if the state is going to waive their notice, then you can have him hear it, but we're in trial. All right, and
So with the GPS, they can see that she's taking her child to school and then coming back home and then picking her.
I'm, the rules are the rules. I'm not doing tracking only. The only thing that you all have agreed to today is that she is allowed to do the meet the teacher from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that's for today. Anything else, you all need to come back.
And we're not asking for tracking only, Judge. We're just asking that she be allowed to pick up and drop off her child from school.
No, that's what it says here. Defendant is requesting to be allowed to be monitored on tracking only.
We're modifying that orally if we.
Okay. All right. Here's what one, it'll need to be a different motion. And let me see a B page, please. On this case. It's 2023 CR 5651. And everyone else, the court is breaking at noon. And then we're going to take up Mr. Longacre's matter.
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this at the same school?
Wilderness Oak Elementary School, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, which school did you say?
Wilderness Oak Elementary.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, and they'll give you a copy in the back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Eric Mark Diaz, is the attorney here for that person? That's a no. Christopher Joe Medina. All right, this is for restitution.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, where are we on restitution?
We have an agreement for $700 restitution, Judge.
All right, we're going to go on the record in cause number 2022 CR 6641, State of Texas versus Christopher Joe Medina. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Hank Wilkins for the state.
for the defense?
Ruben Pisania for Mr. Medina.
And are you Mr. Medina?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court had in a supplemental report from probation that the restitution was to be $3,895.90. So what is the restitution amount?
Yes, Judge. So I have an estimate from Miracle Body and Pain for that amount. I reached out to Miracle Body and Pain. The person who did that estimate no longer works there.
Mhm.
So then I was trying to get a business records affidavit, but I would have to serve that on the defense for 14 days.
Mhm.
I was unable to get that done in time for this hearing today, Judge. We reached out to the defendant at the last setting. She said she would be okay with the $700. So if the hearing has to be today, Judge, it would be for the $700, which we've discussed with defense. If we get some more time, we may be able to revisit that other number, Judge. I just didn't want to, I didn't think you did.
No, I mean, is it, if the agreement is the total amount of restitution that's owed is $700, is that what I'm hearing from both sides?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Then probation for Christopher Joe Medina, the restitution amount will be $700. All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, what would be the time frame required for him to?
He'll need to speak with probation.
Appreciate it, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Victoria Cifuentes.
Good afternoon. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, is this a motion to revoke?
That's correct.
Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
We are ready to proceed.
All right, can I have the stamp, please? All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 7092, State of Texas versus Victoria Emily Cifuentes. Could I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Cleophas Marshall for Ms. Fuentes.
And are you Ms. Cifuentes?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Victoria Emily Cifuentes who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 7092 for the offense of assault causing bodily injury on November 16, 2022 for a term of 1 year? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Victoria Emily Cifuentes, who then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of December 2022 and January 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could grant the motion and sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Judge, it would be a 6-month extension for her to complete her to finish out probation.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Victoria Cifuentes.
Why are you not reporting?
There's really no good excuse. I was homeless whenever I got out of county jail. I was supposed to go to Haven for Hope, but they
She kind of just gave me the runaround, telling me they couldn't find my referral from county and everything, but I was just out on the streets basically trying to survive, Judge.
All right, so do you have a place to live now?
I do those things. Since April, I've been in this program. I've been living there, completing it and everything, and taking me in, and I plan to continue staying there.
What program is this?
If I may, Your Honor?
Yes.
It is, behold, I do a new thing ministries. And the pastor of that ministry is here with us today, Pastor Christine.
Okay.
Miss Fuentes was homeless as she stated she didn't have anywhere to go. So she was basically sleeping out on the street. She heard about this ministry. She went there in April. They brought her in and they have been counseling her and helping her to get back on her feet and to get in a good place. I'm very familiar with Pastor Christine. I've had other people there before. I had one young lady that was there who was on drugs really badly and didn't have a place to stay. They got her on her feet. She's employed now and doing very well. So I know that the program works. Ms. Fuentes has been in the program and she's been doing well. We would ask that she continue to remain in that program and possibly even do community service there if necessary. And we can speak to that in just a moment as far as community service, if the court agrees to extend her to 6 months as requested.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will deny the motion, alter amend conditions to include a 6 months extension, and you are to remain at the Behold, I'll do a New Things Ministries until further notice. If you wish to leave that location, you'll need the court's permission. Do you understand?
I do.
And you're going to have to need to continue to report. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Judge, the court, I believe, had stated if she were to get the COVID vaccine, that the court would reduce the community service hours by 40.
Yes.
And I think also, and I don't know for certain, but I think the court had stated something with regard to her doing a parenting class.
Yes.
That the community service hours may be waived. I'm not
Yes,
sure about
once she completed the parenting classes.
Okay, so.
And it was with Triple P.
Okay.
Have you started on parenting classes?
No, ma'am.
All right, probation. She can do parenting classes with Triple P or Rainbows, either one, whichever one you all feel is appropriate. All right, is there anything else?
There's nothing else. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Do you, may I have that, might give the court that another copy of this?
Yes.
I don't know. She didn't give me permission.
Go around.
Okay.
I don't know why it's so hard to go around. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Juan Carlos Torres Rivera.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. What is happening on this case?
So I had a meeting with
Mental Health Court? Yes.
yesterday. They were staffing it, but it's still pending approval according to probation.
So we got an indication from our chief that there had been an application for mental health pretrial diversion submitted. So we think there's some confusion.
That's the only way that they're going to take him.
Oh, if it's a pretrial diversion?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
So what was agreed to was that we would do a referral for mental health court. If they accepted him, he can always come back and ask for a motion for new trial. I don't know if you were the prosecutor who took the plea or not.
Okay.
But it was agreed that if he were accepted, that's what the state would be in agreement to.
Okay, I think the prosecutor handling it was confused as to what that would entail.
Yes.
So if the court would give me a week to talk to my chief and kind of figure out what our position is.
All right. And so when are you going to, how much more time are they asking for as far as the evaluation?
Well, apparently we're just waiting for the chief's approval.
Okay. Can you recall this in 2 weeks? All right. We'll be back on August 24th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. Yvette Martinez. Your attorney is going to, just 1 second, your attorney is going to be zooming in.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, so if you all could hang around, let's just see if he zooms in. He says he is. Matthew Stribling.
Ready, Judge.
Are y'all ready to proceed on the motion?
Ready, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 2273, State of Texas versus Matthew Thomas Stribling. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Defense?
David McLean from Matthew Stribling.
Are you Matthew Stribling?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt. Did you review that, Mr. Stribling, with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Matthew Thomas Stribling who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 2273 for the offense of assault, family choking, strangulation on October 12th, 2021 for a term of 7 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, in violation of condition number 41, on or about the 9th day of July 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Matthew Thomas Stribling, did then and there failed to comply with the rules and regulations of the felony drug court by blowing a 0.048 on his breath check device at 5:51 p.m. in violation of condition number 41.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And Your Honor, we'll waive and abandon the remaining.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 41, court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 41?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 41 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, the proposed agreement, and I'm looking for the date here, is to deny the motion and to alter and amend conditions for state ISF for both tracks.
That's our understanding, Judge.
And probation, is that what you're requesting? All right. Mr. Stribling, I can do that, or either I can sentence you to prison for 3 years. Which would you prefer?
The state ISF.
All right. Court will find it true, deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include state ISF, cognitive, and substantive track. And then following a release, it'll be the UA hotline until further notice. Field visits will start off at 1 time per month for 4 months, and then after that, probation as you deem appropriate. Is there anything else from either side? All right, Mr. Stribling, you're gonna have to do better. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Do you know how long the program is?
All right, Mr. Longacre is here.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize. I didn't know I was set today.
No, you were set today.
I believe it. I just was unaware of it.
All right, and this case was previously set before then. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 1876, State of Texas versus Yvette Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Captain Longacre for Ms. Martinez.
All right. And are you Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Any objections to Mr. Longacre appearing by video, state?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection to your attorney appearing by video?
No.
All right, have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
I have not, Judge. I have not seen it.
All right, so, Mr. Longacre, where are you located? Are you downtown?
No, I'm not. I'm at home ill.
All right, does somebody want to forward the PSI report to his email? If you could do that for me, please. Thank you. All right, just have a seat.
Thank you, Judge. I'll review it. I'll be right back.
No, the court is taking its break at noon, everyone. So everyone will have to come back. Mr. Longacre, you're going to be back here at exactly 1 p.m., not 1:05, not 1:02, 1 p.m.
I hear you loud and clearly, Judge. I'll be here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Judge Pepper,
Yes.
on Ms. Cifuentes, I just want to make sure that we have the warrant recalled because she has the warrant.
Oh, yes. On Cifuentes, if you could recall the warrant, please. And I will place that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes. Can I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you may be excused. Mr. Hayek, who are you here for?
James Kennedy. I tried to get that taken care of yesterday and earlier. I was told to zoom in and beg for a reset.
Do we have him on the docket today?
I believe you do, Judge. At least it's on my docket for once.
No, we're going to do that at a later date, Mr. Hayek. It's 12.
Well, we're going to decide if I can get a reset or just do it sometime else.
Yeah,
Or do you
we're
want me
gonna do
back at one? I don't understand.
We're going to come back on a different day. Ms. Ferguson will let you know what date that will be.
She's always so good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, you
But I
are
wouldn't
so
mind
welcome.
talking to a prosecutor if they feel like it.
Okay, I'm sure they'll call you on the phone. All right, Monica Reynolds. All right, on Reynolds.
Yes.
Y'all can come back at 1 because the court reporter is not here. We're taking our break. Oh, I can't see you. All right, I didn't see you. All right, so this is the last one we're doing. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2021 CR 8391, State of Texas versus Monica Reynolds. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense,
Garza Jr. for the defense, Your Honor.
are you Monica Reynolds?
Yes, ma'am.
Going to show you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Are you the same Monica Kayleen Reynolds who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 8391 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on February 28, 2022 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Monica Kayleen Reynolds did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April and May 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violation conditions.
Any objections?
No objections.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you to 4 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor, and it is to revoke the individual off for probation, reform the underlying sentence to 2 years in the Texas Department of Corrections.
All right. Has she done anything on probation?
No, Judge, her probation actually started about 4 months ago.
Oh, is that true? The probation started 4 months ago?
February 28th, 2022. Started on February 28th, 2022.
Oh, 22, I'm sorry.
Yes, so,
A year.
yeah, so
I'm sorry.
A few months, yeah.
all right. And you're taking something in consideration, state?
Yes, Your Honor. And, case number was CM 098 967. That's a UUMB judge. And it was pending when she took this plea.
Okay.
So that's why the state is, I mean, it should have been taken care of at that point.
Okay. All right, the court will grant the motion. The court will revoke you, sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration 098967. going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Excuse me, miss. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am, sorry.
Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
All right. Because this was not a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal, and that is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are in community supervision. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.